TBR game. Hello, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hi, I'm Cassie. If it's not, thanks for always tuning into my videos. I'm so excited for today's. Everybody loves a TBR game. They're just so much fun, and I've done them in past, and I actually made my own based on Jadeyraereads TBR Pursuit. But when I did that, it didn't work for me because I tried to make it so that it was complicating my reading. Like, I wanted it to expand my reading taste, and my prompts were too specific, and it ended up putting me in slumps. Where recently when I did Becca's bookoplothon, I loved it, and there was no slump. So I will say my board is heavily inspired by Becca's bookoplothon board, and I'm just gonna get into it. Let's just get into it. Let's get to the exciting part. I now present you my very own TBR game. I'm now presenting you my very own TBR game, TBR Snakes and Ladders. I think I'm going to call it TBR and Ladders because TBR Snakes and Ladders is just way too long. Look at this. I hand drew it. I put in so much effort into this, and I'm so excited. I'm going to use this for the next year and 2 months, hopefully, and then come January 2023, I'm going to make a new board, is what my hopes for it were, but maybe I'll make one sooner if I get bored of this one. But this is it. I'm going to go into depth of the rules, and I will show you all the different spaces ASAP. If you have ever played Snakes and Ladders, I feel like this game is very self-explanatory. It's just snakes and ladders. You go up the board. If you land on a ladder, those are like the different good prizes that you can get. So wild, mood, and skip are what I put down for those. So like ladders are good, and then snakes are bad. If you land on a snake, you go down the board, and you have to add another roll. There are some, like, when I first did this, my original plan was you had to add, instead of adding another roll, you just added another book based on the prompt at the bottom, but I feel like that'll get old really quickly, so I'm just adding a complete extra roll to this. And the board just loops around. There's no, like, finishing it, if that makes sense. Like, once you get to the end, you just go to the start again. I have no goal to, like, buy books at the end or anything. I'm not stopping buying books. I'm just doing this to make my TBRs more fun and just have more fun with it. So you will notice that all my prompts are very vague. I left things really open. I wanted to be able to use a prompt and not struggle to find books for it. So I tried to have some cool prompts, some unique prompts, but prompts that fit for my bookshelves. I sat in front of my bookshelves and played this again and again and again. I just rolled for like an hour straight and landed on everything I could, thought of different prompts, and was just like, this'll work for this, this'll work for this, this'll work for this. So, yeah, I just think it'll be fun, and there we go. I'm gonna do 5 rolls a month, and then my goal is to read 6 books a month, so I'm pretty sure I'll carry that on into next year, but I'm gonna do 5, and then if anything extra comes up, there's extras, and if not, I just have an extra roll. Yeah, okay, that's it. Let's get into the good part, which is like actually going through my board. I know that's what everyone is excited about. Including me. I'm so excited. I feel like I came up with some cool prompts. Okay, we're gonna start on Monster. And so Monster is just a book with a monster in it. Obviously super, super vague. What you consider a monster can be stretched. Like, I consider vampires monsters. It could be like a monster character, not necessarily a real monster. So when I'm saying I made things really, really vague. A little Paw Patrol character. Then right after that we have Wild, which you would climb up the ladder and you would just ignore the prompt on this one and then continue on. But Wild is, I feel like, self-explanatory. It's just a wild card. Whatever you want to read. There we go. You have Rep, which is just representation, and this is any kind of representation, so LGBTQIA+, or a person of color, or poly, like any kind of representation. This is that. A map, a book with a map on it, blurbed, a book that's blurbed, This is specifically supposed to be a book blurbed by your favorite author. That's what I'm going to try to do. Multi-POV, again, self-explanatory. So just multi-POV'd. And then we have lore, which is lore. Like a book that has lore in it. So that could be a retelling, like a book based on a retelling. So something like Circe would work, or a book with lore. So like when I read Legacy of Ash, the world is based on their lore in that book, so I think that would work. And then from lore you go up this way to new. New is new. This could be a new release, the newest book you bought, a new book to you, just like that. Then we have mixed reviews, a book you've just heard mixed reviews about. And then you have another wild, and you would go all the way up to this one, but wild, again, anything you want. This says standalone, but it's supposed to say standalone. I can't spell, apparently. A standalone book, and when I played, this came up a lot, like a lot, which is not a good thing, because I don't read a lot of standalones. I don't even own a lot. So this was a bad position. I tried really hard not to pay attention to the positions I was putting things in. Royals, so a book with royalty, and I think this also counts like a crown on the cover, or a book with like politics, like royals, okay? Poll pick, so this could be on any platform. It's just a poll pick. This one is readers also enjoyed, so it's got the Goodreads symbol, because if you go to Goodreads, you can scroll down to the bottom, and there's a place that literally will say, readers also enjoyed. And that's all that is. And it's a book from one of those. This one might take some work to find a good one. Okay, and then from there you'd go up to odd. This is an odd book, a book with odd page numbers, like a book that's weird, a book that's odd for you to read. As I said, I kept things very vague. Series, a book in a series? That's all that means. Dark cover, a dark cover. Hype, a book with some hype. Spooky, I didn't want to put any genres really on here. So I just put spooky, so, because there can be some spooky fantasy books. There's horror books, because I love horrors. They're spooky. Thrillers. Some dystopian books are spooky. So that's what we have there. Move this up a little. And then from there we have history. So a book based on history. So something like The Poppy War, where it's a historical fiction fantasy. Or a book where the time is history. So Traitor's Blade, where they're in a very historical setting, right? History, okay? Chapter titles. This is really hard. In case you didn't know, I went through a lot of my books, and not all of them have chapter titles. I thought that was going to be really easy, but that one's hard. And then from chapters titles, you would go up this way to an audiobook. And then, sadly, we come across, well, happily, we come across our first, snake. And so an audiobook, you'd have to pick a book, like an audiobook format, and then you will go all the way back down here to map, and you would continue on your journey from there. But you will have to add another roll because you've landed on a snake. I'm going to come all the way back up here to, this says change, but it's supposed to say chance. This is just a random card that I will pick out of a jar or a cup or something that has a book on it, something like that. If you played bookoplothon, you will know what the chance cards are in Bookopoly. I just added that into mine because I liked that. And I put change instead of chance, so just ignore that. And then from chance, we have gods. A book with gods in it. A book that's related to gods somehow. So if there's heavy religion in a book, that's a god book. Then we have humans. So a book that has humans in it. That's self-explanatory. A recommendation. I don't care where this recommendation came from. It's a recommendation. And then we hit another ladder, and this one is a mood read. So these mood reads are different from wilds because this means I can just pick a book later on in the month. I don't have to put it on my TBR that I want to read. You climb the ladder. And then we have my favorite little thingy, and it's sexy cover. It's so cute, the little sexy cover. I got a little pig, and I just thought this was hilarious, because who knows what will be sexy, but you know, there we go. This is the problem. I need to put little arrows. I think we go this way now. Okay, so we go up to seasonal. So, a seasonal book. A book that has to do with the season you're in. Okay? So, like, we're in fall right now, so I have to read a fall type book. Next there is extreme weather. So, think polar fantasy. Think set in a desert. Think weather-related powers, I guess. Extreme weather. Then we move on to color, and so this is going to be, there's a couple things I can do here. Color, pick the book cover color based on what I'm wearing, or get a color generator out, things like that. Next we have light cover, a light cover. Self-explanatory, but you also hit another snake, so you go all the way down, and you'd have to pick another book and do another roll and continue on your journey. How did I go the wrong way? Oh, I didn't. I don't know what I'm on. And then we have sword. Sword simple. This is probably the prompt I'll never have a problem with. A book that has swords in it. A military fantasy. A book with a sword on the cover. That's it. There you go. And then next you have your another fun one, which is another, you have another ladder. And so this one is skip, which means you can just skip. You don't have to add another, you don't have to add a book this time. You can just skip. And then from there we have love trope, so just a trope I love. And then you'd go up to another ladder, which is a mood read again, and you go all the way up, okay? We got what ladders do. From there is a short read, and if you land on short read, you get a short book, but then you are sent back down to love trope and have to do another add an extra roll on. The short, I did not put a number on it because again I wanted it to be vague. So a short book to me is not always a book that's a small inch page count. Sometimes, if it's a YA book, I count that as a short read. From there, we have a 5-star prediction. From there, we then have a big book. And so big book, I did put over 500 pages. From there, we have fantasy romance, which I was a little skeptical putting on. Because if you read my YouTube bio, it says I don't like romance. But recently, I have started to love fantasy romance. So I threw it on there. Let's throw some of those in there. From there, we have paranormal. So I wanted to put this on because I feel like it's slightly different than monsters. Although I think you could stretch monsters into this way. As vampires, I would put in monster and paranormal. But paranormal is something not explained by science. So think ghosts, think time travel, think I would say more humanity things versus a one-eyed creature from the Black Lagoon. I don't know. Okay, there we go. From there we have time, and so time, I wanted to put time as in if there's a time in the title, if it's time traveling book, that would count certain points of the day. So like Nora Roberts' year one is a time, or if it has the word dawn in it or midnight, those are times of day, so I would count them as time. And from here you go up to the and of a or, so just a book that has those things in it. This one's super easy, I feel like. So again, I gave us a snake, and so you'd have to add another roll, and you go all the way down here, and you have to continue. From here we have inspo. Inspo is one of my favorite prompts. I feel like this was fun. Inspo is I'm going to have a jar, and from the jar I'm going to pick out a prompt, and I have to choose my book based on inspiration from that prompt. So we have things like the last thing I watched, shuffle my music and whatever song comes up, the last thing I ate, what I'm wearing, things like that. So I think that one will just be fun. After that we have animals, so a book with an animal on the cover, a book that has an animal companion. Again, I'm loose with my prompts. I wanted to keep them really vague so that I wouldn't be struggling. I wouldn't be picking books I don't want to read as much, and this would just be fun. From here we have continue. Continue is different than series, okay? Okay, I know I have both, and my mom was like, what are you doing? They're the same thing. Continue is continue a book, continue a series, continue a video idea, kind of idea, okay? I was gonna put video book, but I don't always do those, so I just put continue. From there we have elemental, so, a book that has an element in the title, in the picture, or also on the cover, if it's about elemental magic, things like that. A person or a place. So this one, we could use, I feel like this is self-explanatory, a person or a place. So we have Gideon the Ninth, that's about Gideon, okay? That's a person. We have City of Brass, which is a place. We have I have the Raven Tower, that's a place. But for person, I would also count Traitor's Blade or Saint's Blood, or for a place Tyrant's throne, like the throne is a place, the traitor is a person. I'm vague. And then we have flip a coin, which is my favorite prompt on here. Again, I will have another cup with prompts, and I will have to flip a coin. So these prompts are all this or that prompts. So male or female protagonist, under over 400 pages, published before or after 2000s, things like that. That's my flip a coin, and it would just flip a coin between them. And then you start all the way back at the bottom and you go around. I would like some help because with my flip a coin and my inspo, I have 2 little jars slowly starting that have prompts in them. So if you would like to comment down below some this or that prompts or some inspiration prompts, I have the hiccups. I would love to hear them, as these are just like slowly being set. And I'm also not opposed to putting some viewer recommendation books into my chance little thingy. I'm so excited. I'm not sure if there'd be any interest, but I'm thinking about making a digital board as well. I think this will be easier for filming, that I could just talk, like do the roles myself, but then you'll see it on the screen more. But if there is interest, I will make a digital board, and I will make it so that you guys can download it. And if you want to use it, you can use it. I'm so excited for this. I think this is going to be so fun. I can't wait to do it. I can't wait to play in November. Originally, I was going to make it and wait and not introduce it until January, but I just want to play it. I just spit on the camera and it went flying. Oh my god, I'm disgusting. Yeah, so I literally sat here and I just rolled and I played and I picked a random book and pretended I was building a TBR of 100 books, because there are 49 prompts on here and I am going to be rolling 2 dice, so I will go through this quite quickly. I think I can get across this board in 1 month easily, and each month I'll just continue from where I left off. So I'm not always starting at monster. I'll just start from wherever I ended. I am very excited for this. I'm so excited. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, guys. If you made it this far into my video and you'd like to leave a comment down below to say that you watched it, but you have nothing to say, let's leave me a snake. Because, you know, TBR snakes and ladders, I feel like I haven't seen a game like this quite done, and I am very excited for it. I'm just like, I don't even know what to say. Like, I feel like I just birthed a baby. Oops. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. Make sure to give this video a big old thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post weekly booktube content and I love talking about books. If you would like to connect with me on other platforms, my Instagram, my Twitter, my beauty channel, and my Goodreads are all linked down below. So have a wonderful evening and I will see you very soon when I get to play this game! And I will leave some videos on the screen for you to check out.